Good evening. My name is Bernadette Perez, and I'm here to do my project. I led a mindfulness based class at the James A. Casey House, which is a halfway house facility, a 3.1 facility for drug and alcohol treatment in the state of Pennsylvania. The class that I led was on Wednesday, July 22nd from 10 to 11:30 a.m. The number of participants in our class was actually a little bit high. Usually my classes run between 10 to 12 participants, but due to the waiver of the DAP because of COVID-19, I had 17 members in that class, which was a larger group, but all I did was, emphasize to make sure that I had enough supplement and I was able to time better and cut down my planning so that everyone has an opportunity to participate and to get feedback. There was no co-leader present. I do have a supervisor that comes and checks in now every day, but at this time I had no co-facilitator. Mindfulness offers effective methods with beneficial properties for stress and mental health disorders. I was nervous starting this class because originally it was a peace and education class, but I picked mindfulness because of the evidence-based data that we have, and we're able to utilize a lot of different tools and help the gentleman deal with things in a different method and to build better coping strategies besides using. Mindfulness-based approaches is a ubiquitous form of treatment for both drug and alcohol and mental health disorders, and it can be used in all ranges of different health contexts. The ultimate objective of mindfulness would be the discipline to purposefully concentrate one's attention on a person or exact thing in order to learn mental and physical health well-being. Mindfulness allows people to interpret demonstrably, making the necessary knowledge, decisions in response to life effectively. In the beginning of each class, what I did was first, I went over the rules and my expectations as the leader or facilitator of the group, basically. I have 3 rules, which is the first one, everyone must respect one another and myself and respect in return. Number 2 is no politics. Because of everything that's going on, politics doesn't belong in mindfulness right now, and each member is expected to participate in the session, whether it's answering questions, giving feedback, because they do get, at the end of each, I have to write individual notes for each client that signed in the sign-in sheet, and there's a bunch of list of, whether they participated, whether they were empathetic, they were supportive of their peers. So there are, certain guidelines that I must follow according to the state of Pennsylvania and the drug and alcohol treatment program regulations. Beforehand, in the beginning of the room, I laid out my sign-in sheet, and I have the supplement worksheet, which was called The Best Day Ever, that they were going to take. So they sign in their name under their counselor, and then they took the supplement and everyone sat down. It was held in a large group room, which fits around 40 people, but I only had about 25 chairs that goes around in a large oval, like circular shape. In the mouth of this shape is the TV, and I'm standing in the middle. I usually take the front so that I'm able to walk into the middle of the group, so when I talk and give feedback and basically listening, summarizing, doing all the techniques that I do, I'm able to, engage with my clients as effectively as I can. Once they grab that at around 10 a.m., that's when everything starts. I give them 5 minutes. At 10:05, I start an icebreaker, which I executed a round at this time. And basically in the round, I asked for each client to introduce themselves and give 1 or 2 words to describe themselves and, describe a quality for them. A lot of the clients did have a little difficulty with this because I had explained, positive qualities are like, kindness, empathetic, compassionate, friendly, humorous, jokester. So I was able to go around and each client introduced themselves to the group and they named a quality. The next thing I did was after I, closed that icebreaker round, I started the video. The video that they watched was how to defeat negative thoughts, animation. This animation was about 2.5 minutes long. It's a short clip, but it dealt with humor and how negative thoughts cause us to react, and how negative thoughts is like a snowball effect, and it causes us to become angrier, and then we start making impulsiveness decisions, and we start making bad decisions. And then the consequences sometimes is not worth the risk. So the reward of having a negative thought is not worth it. And then we went around after the video and I broke into another round, and we went around and each client, I asked them to state a negative thought that they feel about themselves. And then after that, I helped each client and all the peers, because I'm also about positive support and positive feedback. We helped each client turn their negative thought into a positive one. For example, one client says that his negative thought is that I am just a junkie and I'm not supposed to be alive. I don't deserve to be here. So we all know that's not true. So what we did was we helped him reframe that thought to I am worth it. I deserve to be here. So after that round, we went into the supplement worksheet, which was called the Best Day Ever. And in the supplement worksheet, I gave them about 10-15 minutes to fill out the worksheet. Now, during this time when they're filling it out, I went around the room and I'm looking for nonverbal cues. I'm looking to see how they interact. I'm hearing the conversation that they're having. And with this, I'm able to progress with the topic, the conversation about the best day ever, because along the sheet it answered questions. Name a positive affirmation that you thought of this morning. Name a good quality that you deserve in a friendship. Name all of that things, and we're able to go around. And during this process, having a topic for our thought process and for our best day ever, I was able to execute summarizing, which is a leadership quality, empathizing, restating, and to help these clients, answer these questions as best as they could. Finally, at the end, I always feel nervous when doing groups, so I usually, utilize mindfulness technique, doing deep breathing. At the end, I always end with a quote. My quote, which is I'm going to share with you today, is by the grace of God, there go I. My dad used to always say this quote to us, and at any time, I'm a counselor and they're a client, but I am no better than that client. We're all created equal, and we all are God's children in His eyes. God created us in His image. So if God created us in His image, at no time I am better than any of them. But the difference between me and the client is the decisions we made and how we acted to their consequences. So thank you for joining us today, and have a great evening.